pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Copies of draft meeting minutes for January 7th and January 15th have been provided to council members and have also been posted on the city website. This nice big city treasurer's report. Two big reports. City treasurer's report as of January 31st is located in your binder at City Hall and also uploaded to the website. I'm sorry, we also have the clerk's report. And all the committee reports, all on your desk. Oh, I see, here it's, communication is Tracy's report. Then we have a letter from Timothy O'Connor to the council and the Conservation Advisory Council. His comments on the natural resource inventory draft. And lastly, we have a letter from Camp Hill Hudson, which I'll read from. Members of the Common Council, this is dated February 4th. Hello from Camp Hill Hudson. As many of you know, we are a community of people living and working in downtown Hudson. Our mission is to build community with people of all abilities through living, learning, working, and playing with people of all ages, races, abilities, and creeds. It goes on to describe their mission. It's the I in this case is Nathan McLaughlin, the Executive Director. I have visited your meeting previously regarding the Think Differently initiative, and I've also visited the DPW meeting in July of 2018 regarding complete streets to bring attention to the pedestrian safety issues at 3rd and Warren, which continue to be an important subject for us. Several of the individuals we support live below 3rd and walk daily from our building on the 300 block to the 200 block. It is important to them to live as independently as possible, and being able to walk from on their own is a big part of that picture. Recently, Tiffany Garriga took the time to meet with one of our residents, Kelly McGahan, who I think is here.
It's McCon.
McCon, thank you. And heard her concerns about the safety at 3rd and Warren. I really appreciate Tiffany taking the time to meet Kelly. I wonder how Camp Hill Hudson can be of further help to be part of the solution to the safety concerns at 3rd and Warren. I understand the issue is complex and that it goes deeper than a simple crosswalk or pedestrian sign. Please consider us as a resource. We would like to be part of the solution. Would you like to add to that in any way? Are you all representing Camp Hill tonight?
Yeah, we're all part of Camp Hill Hudson. And Kelly wrote a letter too to Tiffany Garriga as well. And if you'd like to say anything, Kelly, you can.
Yeah, the letter was like a draft. The idea came to myself and Billy at his party at Nicholas's, where we had this little meeting where it was suggested that myself and Billy write this letter to the Common Council about the changes that we want to see with the sidewalks and whatnot. And so Bill and I wrote the letter, and we submitted it to the council. And like you said, we had our first meeting with Tiffany, and so that when you could add something to it if you want to.
Yeah, a lot of our friends with Camp Hill Hudson just have a lot of trouble with that light at 3rd and Warren, especially like you kind of have to walk into the street a little bit to see if it's green or if it's yellow or if it's red. So it's a real challenge on a daily basis. But I think other than that, we'll let Nathan's letter kind of speak for itself.
And I would like to see a real push for those pedestrian stop signs and stoplights.
Yes, it's been identified that I don't know what they're actually called, but the shields on the side of the lights make it almost impossible for a pedestrian
Yes,
to
you're
see
right,
the
sir,
light
it's
from the
most
side.
definitely impossible.
Thank you for your letter. It speaks to an issue that I think we've identified, a number of us have identified, including those who are active in trying to make complete streets work for all of Hudson. And I hope we have a solution for it pretty quickly. Tiffany, did you want to say something?
Yes, I encouraged Kelly to come out this evening to speak to the whole council, and when they sent an email to myself, Dewan, and to the mayor, I wanted you all to know that I did forward the email to the chair of DPW, so the issue is being addressed at all angles. And I also wanted you to know, which was interesting, at our last legal committee meeting, the subject of sidewalks came up. And what you were talking about was this specific signage, the electric sign that you can press that will indicate when the light is changed so it is safe for you to cross. And we were trying to figure out where in the city of Hudson, if any had, and we did. It was come to find out from the legal committee.
The Scallies intersection.
There's some, so that's potential, meaning there's one already out here, so maybe we can look in for grant money or something along the lines to bring in more. Like I said, it's gonna take time, but the subject matter is on the table and we will address it.
Thanks, Ms. Gray.
And if I could add to that, what we hope with the DOT review and the traffic studies, as the Stewart's proposal goes to the planning board, that's always been part of the discussion because there is like a five-way intersection. And the one that is on 66 by Scallies, I had asked Rob about that, and he said the state paid for that, and I thought that meant state would pay if it's a truck route, which 3rd Street is.
Yeah.
But he said that that if the intersection is completely within a municipality, the state won't. And that one by Scallies is a little bit of Greenport and a little bit of Hudson, so they benefited. But it's definitely on the table.
And as I let the council know today, LaBerge canceled their appointment with us this week, but they will be here on what's the day? Monday, March 11th. So that touches a number of committees, this issue, DPW, police. So I hope you all will express your desire to figure out how to get a grant for that.
And Tiff,
If possible.
let us know too, because the other side of that intersection sits in our ward, and it's just as much finished. Happy to all work together with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Greenwood-
Good news, Kelly, did you hear that?
Yes, I did, Tiffany, thank you.
So there's the two problems. There's the glare, and then there is knowing, which would help, I guess, with the glare. You wouldn't have to figure out the light, because State Street and Green Street is the same way in terms of looking into the sun, different time of day, but, so we'll have a couple places to apply it if we can find something that's doable.
I don't know, we can maybe look into something that we can do in the meantime. I don't know, if it's putting a person in or something, I don't know. Something that we can look into.
Anyone else from the council? Yes.
Yeah, also 5th and Warren, because it's a one-way street, if you're trying to cross the other way, there's no light for pedestrians at all. You can't even tell when the lights are changing. So I would appreciate that. Add that one to the list too.
Okay, let's start with our resolutions for tonight. Oh, before we go ahead, the RFP for the JLE feasibility study for conversion has been done. It'll be formally issued on Wednesday. You all had a chance to comment. I want to especially thank Peter Bougino, who provided extensive commentary, useful commentary, and anyone else who replied to my request. So that goes out formally on Wednesday. If you want to see the final version, let me know and I will send you a copy. I hope to have it posted to the website tomorrow, so that you can, on the city website, on the Common Council page. Our first resolution is to appoint Hillary Hillman to an open seat on the Conservation Advisory Committee. You can attach to the resolution on your desk is her letter expressing interest. Do I have an introduction and any commentary? Do I have an introduction and a second? Eileen? And Rob. The second resolution, to put it simply, is to put a for sale sign at the vacant real property on Spring Street. A tax enforcing officer's deed was executed conveying title to vacant real property located on Spring Street. And this is just allowing the city to put a for sale sign. Any questions? This is a piece of property that did go to auction and failed to find a buyer. Any questions? An introduction and a second, please. Rob? Second. Eileen? Okay, Rob, excuse me, there are a number of resolutions you might, I'm not sure how we're going to do this with the new process in terms of if they need to go to finance before, or is it good enough to just have them introduced here, because then you'll have time at finance to,
And then provide.
and then, yeah, do it that way?
That's, Andy, I mean, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I think that's other nice, but let
So
that-
the next one is a resolution authorizing entering into a cooperative investment agreement between us, the city, as represented by our treasurer, and it means there's a description of it attached to the resolution, and it means we pool our resources with other municipalities so that I assume we get a better return on our investments. Eileen, you're looking quizzical?
No, that it always makes me think about the cemetery fund, which is
Yeah.
probably our biggest fund. There's probably 750,000, and I think per the charter, that can only be in the bank. So that's what I was trying to think, was it all of them, but I believe it's just
I
that.
think it's up to $1 million now.
Is,
Untouchable. Any other questions? Can I have an introduction and a second? Kamal, and a second? Ron. Since the last resolution about the property at 6 Lucille Avenue, which was where we put aside some money to demolish it, someone has stepped forward and offered to buy it. So this resolution allows executed conveying the title of the real property at 6 Lucille to John Hardy and Katie Hardy, who have submitted an offer to purchase the subject premises for the sum of $8,000.
Is that after the demo? No, they won't.
No,
we're not gonna do
no, we're not gonna do
It's
that.
actually, to the city, it's actually more soft dollars when you look at what we would have paid for the demo.
50,000.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Can I have an introduction and a second, please? Eileen? Second? Come on. The next resolution is to eliminate outstanding taxes on city-owned property. Whereas the city of Hudson purchased 701 Union Street in December 2013 with the intent of renovating the property into a new police and court building. And whereas due to the timing of the purchase, the property was listed on the 2013 assessment roll under its previous owner, a tax bill was generated for 2014. So this is just a formal resolution to eliminate the outstanding tax due. That'll make sense? Do you have any questions? Can I have an introduction and a second, please? No, and, the next resolution is a transfer, intra-department interdepartment transfer from the city equipment budget to its equipment budget from its grant budget. Any questions? Can I have an introduction and a second? Don't all raise your hand at once. Get them all. Can I have a second, please? Amen. The next resolution corrects and authorizes for 2019 by Department of the City of Hudson petty cash funds. Any questions? Can I have an introduction and a second, please? Come on. Second? Right. Now, the next one is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment for Youth Department Personnel Services. This was because what happened was they didn't know to include in their budget for 2019 funds for a healthcare buyout. So this adds to their personal services for 2019.
So they will receive it.
I'm sorry, what?
So they'll receive it.
They will receive it in 2019, yes. It allows for the funds. Any other questions? An introduction and a second?
When will they receive it?
This is for the 2019 buyout. This is not about the 2018 buyout.
So that one is a done deal?
2018? No, it's not yet.
And this is to make sure.
This is to make sure the money's there for 2019.
Okay.
And then this is on our normal schedule, right? Like May and November
Yes,
or whatever.
correct. An introduction? Rob? And a second? Tiffany? Now, Rob, do you want this to go to the Finance Committee, or you?
I don't think we have enough people to vote 3/4, 2/3 through for it not to, right?
Yeah, I think we should just take it there.
Just take it there.
Yeah, good point. The next resolution accepts a youth department donation. from Tom Roche for $400. You've probably seen him around. He takes photographs. He's married to, oh, Nick, how would you describe him?
He's a local photographer and carpenter, but he had a display down at Incident Report next to, what is it?
Right.
Yeah, it's got,
Nancy
Next-
Shaver.
yeah.
Right.
American Glory.
American Glory, right next to American Glory, and he had taken a lot of amazing photos of youth and staff at the youth department and made a little display. And actually, it was amazing. He put out just envelopes there for people to put donations in that anybody could have come and taken, but made $400 in donations. People who just came and saw the photographs and put them in there. And we're going to use the money to do an art show of all the photos at the youth center and turn the gym and do a little gallery for a night. That's what the donated money is coming in from that.
Well, make sure you invite us.
I have an introduction and a second, please. Tiffany and Dawn. The next resolution is for budgeted services received or contracted in 2018. And not all the invoices for these have been received, or some work is still outstanding. This will obviously go to finance also, but we can still get an introduction and a second.
And this, it says is encumbered, so
Yes.
the monies are there in
Right, the money's all there. Right,
2018.
right.
This just keeps that from going into
Right.
the general fund. So,
Eileen, you have a second? Is that a question or a second?
This is a second.
No, thank you. And of course, it will go on to finance. And lastly, resolution, transfer within the Parking Violations Bureau from their uniform supplies to from their uniforms to the materials and supplies. An introduction and a second, please.
You need new uniform?
No, they're taking money from their uniform budget.
Supplies.
Please. Thank you.
An introduction? Dewan, and a second, please. Wow. Okay. Does the council have any old or new business they'd like to bring up? Anybody in the community like to comment on anything?
I would like to thank the mayor and Supervisor Sarah Sterling and Supervisor Linda Musselman for coming to Shiloh Baptist Church for Martin Luther King's annual event. It was very nice to see you and very nice for the community to see you as well. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else from the council or from the community?
I'll just say thank you for the council for helping me get this little through and give this what I want happen.
You're most welcome, and thank you for writing to us.
You're most welcome.
Okay, in that case,
Motion to adjourn.
second, all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed?
Very nicely done.